Welcome, everyone. Alex Sakon, formal barrel provider. And first of all, I would like to thank the Gin Guide to invite me today. It's a great honor. Thank you, too, for your interest. The topic today is to introduce a little controversial discussion around gin and barrel. So let's talk about barrel-aged gin. We have 20 minutes, and I have a lot of things to tell you. It has been a passionate life for the last 3 years, so I will try for once to be not too poetic and go straight to the point. So, as an introduction, a little bit of my background. I'm a former winemaker, wine merchant, wine négociant, and that's where came the inspiration for bringing barrels to the spirit industry. That whole story started about 10 years ago, when I was observing the passionate development around spirits and barrel-aged spirit here, but also in the US. So friends, we had relation into the wine. They start to ask me for, let's say, clean barrel. That's a key word. They had all relation with very good producers into the wine, but they realized quickly that that was not enough. A good barrel for spirit was definitely not a good barrel for wine, even for beer now, and then the whole barrel age era start to extend. So I will divide this talk in 4 points. The first point is where we came from. The slide I've been prepared are mostly picture support. Sorry for my sometimes little French English, but yes. Where we came from, as I say, barrel for gin first was to carrying gin. So we had a long history about that. But at that time, it was just a vessel. That vessel, like for any beverage, brought flavors. And we tried to extend and get thinner and thinner about that. Then we can talk about refining, flavoring the spirits we were producing. That went through a lot of experimentation, good and bad. And by experience and selection, we get more and more fine in the field we want to develop. Finally, the point we are right now is much more about the complexity, the structure, how we can really enhance the personality of the spirits we are producing, how we can make us special in this huge creativity, huge offer, thousands of new products every year. This is really what inspired me. How, with a single wood and fire, we can really bring something to gin, not the wood, but extending the quality in terms of structure and complexity. My second talk about that is definitely how we can source good barrel for gin. This infography is basically what we built on the 4 years. The first request was definitely bring me good barrels. That was mostly clean barrels. This is one more time the key. How that barrel will not affect my fantastic recipe. How my gin will bring something from those barrels and not be destroyed, unbalanced, or change from his identity. It's all about the stock. If you want good barrels, you need to play with a large possibility of selecting those barrels. In the wine, we play mostly with all the region. Why? Because there is first all the different age of the barrels, but there is also all the different vintages, all the different grapes, and into that, there is, at the end, at the last racking, we have barrels we can definitely address to the gin, and some other, they will not fit with. Why? Mostly because gin is so precise, and that's also where came my inspiration. We start with, I started 25 years ago with making white wine in Burgundy. That was a crazy experience. That was a time where we had a lot of white wine. In terms of the budget of the winery, it was not that easy because we were selling more and more red wines. The success with Burgundy was growing, but beside of that, we had a lot of white wine. They were pretty undrinkable in their youngness. So we were not looking for really to flavor the wine with the barrels. We were looking for how to accelerate the aging, how get the white wine more smoothie, more structure, more complexity. And that's why we succeed with the barrels. And that's almost 20 years ago. So this is also what lead all this work with the barrels. How we can really be a companion of the gin like we were with the white wine in Burgundy. How we can enhance this excellence. So I was talking about the stock. So stock is, at the end, we will probably take only like 10% of the same single lot of barrels because they will be clean, they will be balanced, we will be able to reproduce this quality year after year. Second, the diversity. The time of experimentation is almost over now. All the good producers, they know exactly what they want. They want it every time they are producing their single gin, and this is very important that we are able first to build allocation of all the different kind of barrels, but also build the barrel park like a symphony. This is no more single batch. This is definitely to build your personality in barrel-aged gin, you need to build that symphony. And every single of you will have his own symphony. And this is our job to understand where you want to go, what is the original personality of your gin, and how we can drive that years after years. The quality control, it is the most important things of the whole job. I mean, the poetry, the things will make people dream is the first two topics. The hard job, like always, is on the backstage. And this is the end of this infographic. The quality control is essential because this is not because a barrel smells good and looks good that for sure we're not going to have issue months after months with it. So once again, the traceability from the tree to the very last racking is essential. This is the only guarantee, if there is any guarantee in barrels, that we will reach the point. And beside of the bacteriology and the profile of the barrel, that this, let's say, sensorial traceability, there is definitely the physical safety. Is this barrel able to handle my gin for the next few months? Or, I mean, to avoid all the issue during the aging. I'm running time for sure. I'm a specialist for that. But anyway, third topic for me now is, at the beginning we were recently racked clean barrel providers. Everyone was happy with that because they finally get those nice barrels. But we realized, even with the best job, we were not 100% happy. We were not 100% happy because first, every single barrel was always a little bit different. So it was very hard to provide with constant profile of barrel, which will produce a constant profile of gin. But also, we had a lot of issues. And then we start with the chemistry, mostly around the tannin and the sulfite. We working with the labs and with the multiplication of experience with a lot of a big range of different producers worldwide and with way different genes, we realized that the tannin from the wood and the tannin from the wine were big enemies, mostly to produce this smooth structure, to be just a companion and not over something in flavor or in oak. So we realized that reducing the tannin was a key. Tannin of the wine, tannin of the wood. And the sulfite. Sulfite show up after a few months, usually. So if you age for less than 6 months, usually you save. But after starting at 4 months and around, the sulfites came back at in the tasting. And it's changing absolutely the profile of your gin. So the idea of reworking the barrels, which I don't like this word, but I will say, you will hear regenerate. So this is all techniques they used to be in action a few years ago. But we realized that we need to upgrade the barrels. And upgrading the barrels was basically taking back the barrels from the beginning, rebuilding the barrels from the beginning, dislocking all these barrels, inspecting the barrels, reopening all the breath system of the barrel, cleaning that, keeping the flavors, and tailor-suiting the barrels with the toasting to fit with every single personality of gin. This is just the beginning. I'm very humble with that. Thanks for all of you who trust us, because every day we are progressing. Every day we produce finer gin in terms of expression, but also in terms of complexity. And this is, for me, a passion, because I don't have the word in English, but it's kind of revival, reminiscence, because it's exactly what I had 20 years ago with the wine. When we finally succeed with those white wine, we make them just enjoyable in their youngness, and that's exactly what is going to happen with the gin now. The last point, and I'm thinking I'm way behind. The last point is, this is very nice to bring the nicest student into the nicest college and say, now my job is done, deal with it. You, the company, you will know how to take benefit of that. They will be not honest to just be delivering barrels. This is just the beginning of barrel aging in gin, like in many spirits. We have to be very humble with that. We have to be companion of that, because we need to be with you every day to understand how you progress, how we progress. And it's what we call barrel management, managing the pork. It's all about the sensorial analysis, that this experience which is extending every day. It's also about the topic we talked about just before, how you build a symphony in your cellar, and how you extend, you make the family growing up, all those baby barrels, to keep the harmony. And finally, and that's my conclusion, I was resisting to provide those barrels to friends they were asking, because I felt that it was a big responsibility. I mean, what happened if I was just destroying their work with that single barrel? With the whiskey, it was less risky than gin, because it was less precise. And also the knowledge of most of the producer was bigger. But I was still resisting. And then, when I was not a gin drinker, even a gin really connoisseur, I grew up into the gin with the distilleries I was providing, and this is how came the passion. This is how I realized how producing top gin was so close to producing top white wine. This is how I realized that those two stories were very close by. And gin is a fantastic era about with barrel. We are producing new era of cask, those upgraded barrel, and I think with you we are also coming into a new era of gin. And be sharp and exigeant, I think is the only way to avoid this controversy. Does barrel age is good for gin? Does barrel age change the identity of gin? Avoid this kind of, because we're going through whatever happened. I mean, it affects the wine first, then we went to the whiskey for sure. Look at the beer now, all the craft beer, how it's fantastic. And we have so much to share all together. Thank you very much.